Hey YouTube, welcome. StrixHaven just dropped, and so we are trying to build a deck with StrixHaven cards and see how things go. So this is gonna be my initial first build of a StrixHaven deck. It's Sultai Ultimatum, Emergent Ultimatum, whatever you want to call it, but with StrixHaven cards added to see if it helps out the deck. Obviously, the older format has a lot of busted cards with the adventures, and Kaldheim was had a lot of powerful cards, but I mean, like, it gave us Alrund's Epiphanies and stuff like that. But the previous sets, obviously the adventure sets, is where the bulk of the power has come, and Strixhaven, the power level on the set is very low compared to the adventure sets. So I'm not really sure how much Strixhaven will change the meta, but like I said, I'm going to try out some new cards here and test them out and see. Like, obviously, I love Professor Onyx in control decks. This card's going to be really good. And yeah, it's just, we're going to give it a try and see. Since it's a monocolored card, we can grab it with Ultimatum. But yeah, so here's the deck. We're going to give it a try. Before we go into the deck intro real quick of what the cards I'm playing and why I'm playing them and whatnot, I appreciate everybody for subscribing and watching me on YouTube. We've gone really far. I love the feedback that you guys are giving me, so thank you for that. And for all the new people who are watching, if you haven't done so already, please subscribe so you don't miss out on the future videos. I have another deck in the works that I will be posting within a day or two after this list, and it's going to be a best of one deck. So if you're into best of one, so go ahead and subscribe, follow, and make sure to see when I post that video, because like I said, in the next day or two I will be posting that, and that one's going to be Orzhov. So that's going to be an Orzhov aggro deck for best of one. But let's go ahead and get into this. So I mean, obviously the bulk of the deck is not changing pretty much, because it's the bulk of the deck that these cards are very powerful, and the new set obviously brought in new cards, but it didn't bring in powerful cards like the old ones. So we're not changing anything there. Jwari's Disruptions, Omens, obviously this is a counterspell land. This is Scry, draw power, eliminate Heartless Sacks we're keeping. I do love the art eliminate. Look at this. This is amazing. So that's cool. But I'm doing 4 Heartless Sacks because there's not too many cards now. So the main reason why people back in the day were running Eliminate versus Heartless Sack more is because the Crawling Barrens. Crawling Barrens was kind of all over the place, and obviously Heartless Sack can't kill that. Now it's more Faceless Haven, so Heartless Sack can kill that and kill everything else that is stronger. Can kill the Elder Gargaroth or something like that. So that's why I have more Heartless Sacks than Eliminates. Obviously, 1 Valki, we need that for the Ultimatum here. 4 Havens, this helps us ramp. 2 main deck Disputes to go up against other Ultimatum decks. So here's one of the new cards, Solve the Equation. And if you're playing an Ultimatum deck, I highly suggest this card, because look what it does. It searches your library for an instant sorcery card, reveal it, and put it into your hand and shuffle. So turn, let's say, even if you don't cast it on turn 3, you cast it on, say, turn 5 or turn 6. Go and grab Ultimatum and be guaranteed to cast this on turn 7, or 6 or 5 or whenever you have 7 mana. So I'm trying it as a one of. I might even move this up to 2 and say cut 1 Cultivate, just because we're running 4 Wolf of Havens and we're running the Cultivator, Binding of the Gods. I can even cut maybe the Chariot for a second one, but we're trying 1 at the moment. And like I said, if you're running a Sultai Ultimatum deck or Emergent Ultimatum, I would highly suggest at least one of these in the deck. It's gonna help you out a lot, trust me. 1 Predation, it's a land, it's a way to look at their hand. Cultivates help us ramp. 1 Extinction Event, 1 Chariot, because just in case. I'm not 100% sold on this. I ran this card back when it first came out in my Sultai control deck, and it was a lot better there because I was able to use like Crawling Barrens, and if I needed to animate it somehow. But obviously you don't have any tokens, but I ran multiple Chariots, so if the tokens would die, then I can cast another one, legendary roll it, bring in the 2 cats, animate it, create more cats. So we'll see. This Chariot might not be good, but let's just find out. Like I said, so far, just thinking about it right now, I probably would cut this for another Solve the Equation, but let's find out. 4 Binding the Gods, obviously this card's powerful. 1 Polukranos is there for like the aggro matchups and the rogue matchups, because it has escape. So here's another new card I'm trying out, Eureka Moment. This card seems pretty powerful. It's I mean, it's no growth spiral because it's 2 mana, draw a card, put a land into play, but it's still draw 2 cards, put a land into play for 4 mana, instant speed. It's still good, but it's no growth spiral, but it's still good. So we're gonna give it a try and see how it works. Another card I'm giving a try from the new set is Cultivator. It can go and search for a basic forest or island and put it into play untapped, so you get to get it untapped. But I'm running it because one, it's a 3/4 body, so against the aggro decks, it's a good body. It grabs me a land, so it helps me ramp. So that's why I'm running it. Like it helps you ramp to, so you get ultimatum faster, and it's a 3/4 body, so it's technically a win condition. Or against the aggro decks, it's a 3/4 body that can block, attack, and all that. 2 Shadows Verdicts against the aggro decks, 2 Elder Gargaroths. This is against the aggro decks, control decks. Can be grabbed by Sultai Ultimatum. 1 Professor Onyx is a new card. Like I said, I really like this card. It may not be as powerful as I think, as I'm making it sound, but I think it's pretty strong. So, Magecraft, obviously in control decks, Magecraft is pretty bonkers because you're just going to be there either countering their cards or killing their creatures. And then the fact that they lose 2 life and you gain 2 life is a very powerful effect. We'll see how good it is in this deck because I don't really cast too many spells. I mean, I do and I don't. This might be better in just a hard control deck because you cast it and then you protect it and then you just, the +1 gives you card advantage, and then you could just protect it and just play kill spells, and then it's a win condition because they're losing 2 life and you're gaining 2 life. So you play 10 spells and you win the game. We'll see. But I really like this card. Obviously, 2 Alrund's Epiphanies. There's nothing new about that. 1 Cure's Best and 1 Seagull. Nothing new there. Or 2 Emergent Ultimatum. I mean, 4 Emergent Ultimatums. What am I saying? 2. Obviously, it's an ultimatum deck, so you need 4. So there's that. Nothing new about the lands. As far as the sideboard, I'm trying this because I was like, well, I could use this to copy, say, Binding of the Old Gods, maybe Wolf of Haven if I needed to. You could even copy Chariot and then a legendary rule it. We'll see. It can also copy, the other reason why I'm running it is because it can also copy, their cards. So if they have something powerful against you, we'll see. I don't know how it's going to work. I just wanted to try it, see how it works. Another removal, board wipe, obviously. Elder Gargaroth against the aggro decks. Some more eliminates in the sideboard if we play against aggro decks. 1 Coma for the control matchups. Same thing goes with the duresses. I don't know why they have it that way where duress is up here and then there's duresses down there, but negates, control matchups. All right, so here's another new card from the set. And if you're annoyed or you hate playing against the Sultai Ultimatum decks and you have blue mana, I would suggest putting this card in your sideboard because of what it does. Like it says, counter target instant or sorcery spell for 2 mana. Then you get to search the controller's graveyard, hand, library for any number of the cards that were exiled that you countered pretty much. And that player shuffles them and draws cards for each one in their hand. So, right off the bat, you get to counter, say, Sultai Ultimatum, right? Then you get to, or Emergent Ultimatum. Then you get to look at their deck, hand, and graveyard and exile all other copies. So you get to remove all 4 of the Emergent Ultimatums with the 2 mana counterspell. So if you hate Ultimatum, I highly suggest this card. It's a 2 mana card. It's a very powerful card. It's obviously good against other decks too, like a control deck or something like that, because you could counter their counter spell and then remove all copies of the counter spell. Things like that. But against the ultimatum deck, this is going to be a good, powerful card. Then duress, mystical dispute to chain it off. So, but yeah, this is the deck intro. This is the deck. Let's see how this thing works out. We'll see how it plays out with some of the new cards: Eureka Moment, Cultivator. Solve the equation, Professor Onyx, test talents. But yeah, let's go give her a try on the ladder and see what happens. All right, so the new set of Standard Arena is out, StrixHaven. So let's play some decks and see what we can do. Right now, we're gonna go give a updated version of Sultai Ultimatum a try and see how well that works out. So let's go and see what happens. Playing against, what is this? Infinito 117. All right, Infinito. 3 lands, 2 omens, 2 bindings. They're not revealing a companion, so they're probably some kind of aggro decks most likely. So it's not great, but I mean it's playable. It's not a hand that I'm gonna mulligan because, like I said, I have two omens, a third Binding in the Gods, and looks like we're playing against Snow Red because I think there's the only deck that plays snow lands or snow red cards, I should say. Eliminate's pretty sweet draw, and I do like the art to these some of these new cards. That's actually really cool. Yeah, we're gonna kill this Robber the Rich since they have less cards than us because we don't want them to be hitting anything. So, I mean, we're only gonna take one extra point of damage by not killing the Rimrock, which is worth it so that they don't hit anything off the top of our deck that could be problematic. Obviously, it's Fable Passage, but you know, you never know what it's gonna be. So, Phoenix of Ash. Let's play Omen here. Let's see what happens. Cultivate, Jordan Disruption. That doesn't look like I need either one of these when they have 5 power on board. I'm looking for some removal. I mean, I have Binding of the Old Gods, but like I said, I don't. I mean, it's 4 mana, so I'm looking for something cheap, and that Heartless Act was perfect draw. Let's see, do I need this on blue or black? I think black, just in case I can. I already have 2 blue, so yeah. Since I have 2 blue, I'm gonna have double black, double green, double blue. So let's do that. We're killing the Rimrock here because, like I said, it's 1 extra point of damage. If they want to pay their 3 mana to pump Phoenix of Ash, I'm fine with that because that means they don't put anything else on the board. And then the following turn, we can just use Heartless Act against it. Ooh, Torbrand, that's a lot of damage. Alright, well, we have to kill this Torbrand. Let's grab the red Triome. In case we draw, say, Valki, we can then cast Valki as Tibalt. So let's see what happens. We have to kill Torbrand. We're taking a minimum of 2, possibly 4 if they activate the effect. So let's see what they do. Actually, we could take a lot more now, but ooh, Embercleave. All right, so we're taking 6. 6 it is. We're at 2. Okay. Well, Cultivate was definitely not a card I'm looking for, but you know, at least I have what's it called? A couple of spells to play, I should say. I can play Omen and I can play Heartless Act. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I can also play Cultivate. So I'm gonna play Cultivate, Heartless Act, Omen in this turn. So that's gonna be pretty decent since I have 7 mana. So we Cultivate, and it also ramps us. It thins our deck out, gets us closer to Ultimatum. Obviously, you know, we're still an 80 card deck, but like I said, it gets us closer. Closer still better than nothing. They're gonna go into combat. We're gonna Heartless Act this, obviously. I mean, we're dead to a Bone Crusher, but that's. If they had Bone Crusher, they probably would have just played it anyways, because they know we're a Sultai Ultimatum deck, most likely. Nah, we don't play hard counter spells. So, you know, if they had Bone Crusher or Stomp, whatever you want to call it, they would have played it. They have enough cards to bring back the Phoenix. I'm sure that's probably what they're going to do now. Let's bring back El Phoenix. Yep. Well, we have Binding of the Old Gods to kill it again, so that's fine. Play Omen, see what we hit. Okay, actually they're both good. This Eureka Moment is actually a pretty decent card. I'm actually liking this. Obviously, it's not like Growth Spiral where Growth Spiral is 2 mana. This is 4. You get to draw 2 instead of 1. So I mean, there's ups and downs to it. So you choose. Let's see. So we'll play Binding of the Gods. I have to kill the Phoenix because Heartless Act can't kill the Phoenix. I could play Eureka Moment with Heartless Act at the ready. I could have grabbed Yorion and then hold up Heartless Act, but Eureka Moment, I'd rather draw 2 cards here, and just in case I need to draw like Sultai Ultimatum or Elder Gargaroth or something like that, you know? And Eureka Moment, Heartless Act uses all 6 of our mana, whereas Yorion, Heartless Act uses, 5. So I want to be more mana efficient as well. Especially since we're kind of like we're like a tap out control deck. I want to be able to use as much mana as all the turns I have. I want to use as much mana as possible. Let's play Eureka Moment first. We're gonna Heartless Act it, obviously, but I want to see what we hit first. All right, so Heartless Act this. Unfortunately, they get to create 2 tokens since Embercleave gave them loyalty here. So that's a little bad for us, but like I said, we could just draw Ultimatum and be perfectly fine. We drew another land, unfortunately. Okay. So let's see. Play, grab Yorion and cast Yorion and then blink 3 cards. That seems pretty good. I mean, and then we get what, 2 omens, so we can see what we hit off 4 scries. I think I'm gonna kill the Embercleave. Because I go, okay, there's Hardest Act. That's what we want, yes. And definitely do not want either one of these. No, no, no. Omen, okay. So we just gotta pass. So now we can play Omen and Hardest Act. Let's see what happens. I think maybe actually I should have killed the token here. Okay, that's fine. I could block one, Hardest Act the other. But yeah, let's see if the opponent realizes I messed up. I was supposed to kill the token here because they can just attack and activate Castle of Embereth and win the game. Because I can only block one, I can only Hardest Act the other. The other one will get in for 2 damage. So that was a little of a point on my end. Well, let's hope that they... Okay, well, Shadow's Verdict's a good one. We'll keep that one. Let's hope they don't see the castle. I want to play it as if, you know, like nothing is happening. I'm just going to be like, okay, it's not a game. Who cares? Let's see what they do, though. So there's a pause. So I don't know if that's a pause for a castle or if that's a pause for like an Embercleave or something. But we're at the ready. Let's see what happens. Okay. Oh, there we go. So whoever they put the Embercleave on, we just Hardest Act that. So my mistake and then their mistake, which ends up being possibly a win for us. So I got down to 1. Yeah, they should have just acted. Oh, look at, there it is. There it is. Just like how you drew it up. There it is. Yeah, their mistake was playing the Embercleave. All right. So we want Alrund's Epiphany for sure. What else? I think an Elder and then maybe Valki. So Valki Onyx. I could actually, yeah, actually, I think I want Elder because of the life gain. But the question is, do I want Valki or Onyx? I guess Valki. Let's see who they give us, though. I'm assuming they're going to give us Tybalt and Elder. I don't think they're going to give us an extra turn. I highly doubt they give us an extra turn. Yep. All right. So play Tybalt and play Elder. So as long as we don't die next turn, we're set. We're solid. We're good to go. I could Shadow's Verdict here and get rid of the Phoenix also. I can exile the Embercleave. And I have 2 blockers. And if I play Shadow's Verdict, they have no attackers, no cards in their hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And this gives me lifelink, or not lifelink, but I gain 3 life, I should say. I think, oh, yeah, I think we just play Shadow's Verdict, right? Yeah, that way they don't have anything. So, all right, well, they conceded. I guess writing was on the wall. All right, so we're definitely bringing Elder. We're bringing, well, okay, never mind. We win. All right, let's take Sultai Ultimatum to the ladder. Let's see what the new StrixHaven cards and see how we do. So far it's been doing pretty well. So let's see how if it keeps continuing or not. But I mean, obviously it was a strong deck with Kaldheim, and now it should be definitely a strong deck. I mean, with Strixhaven, because Strixhaven's power level was very low. So too many decks shouldn't change drastically. So we'll see though. I mean, obviously every deck, well not every deck, but decks will get new cards, obviously. So looks like we're playing against a Yorion deck. So I'm assuming Sultai Ultimatum. So I'm gonna keep this hand because we get to ramp. And if we get to the Sultai Ultimatum turn first, or if we get to cast a Sultai Ultimatum, I should say, first, then we might be in a better shape. Obviously, since he's on the play, you know, he's going to be able to play Sultai Ultimatum first. But if we ramp enough, then we get to play it first. So let's see what happens. All right, so we foretold the card. That means it's clearly going to be Alrund's Epiphany. I don't think there's any other card in the deck that can be foretold. So that's clearly Alrund's Epiphany. Let's see what they got. Okay, green. All right, well, Cultivate means they're on par with us as far as mana goes. So now they do get to cast Ultimatum before us. But we get to play Binding of the Gods, so we go up a land, so we still get to play it before them. So as long as they're, speaking of, there it is. So I think I have to shock, no, I think I have to shock the Seagate here, so I can get the double blue just in case, and play Binding of the Gods. And then with Binding of Gods, obviously you grab the Triumph, gives us, you know, another blue mana. Because we technically have double green in play. Oh, all right. So now they get to play Sultai Ultimatum before us. But we have double green in play. We have a swamp. And then when we use the Binding of the Gods, we'll grab another blue/black mana. We have these pathways to grab us our last black or green. So eliminate. Although you look really cool, the art looks very amazing. Not what I'm looking for right now. So, okay. Yeah, we just gotta grab Yori's to our hand and play a land, I guess, huh? And just gotta hope for the best. I am holding up the 2 mana to pretend like it's like Jwari Disruption or something. So if they try and go for Ultimatum, then I can technically counter it. We'll see if that actually happens or not. Okay. So what you got, opponent? What you got? Cannot. If you have Ultimatum, you have Ultimatum. I feel like they're gonna, okay, well they're not playing Ultimatum, so I feel like they're just gonna play Alrund's Epiphany then. I can't counter that, unfortunately. Yep, as we thought, Alrund's Epiphany. Okay. 2, 4, wait, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Yep, there it is. Okay. Alrund's Epiphany into Ultimatum. Pretty good. So they're gonna obviously grab another Alrund's Epiphany, and then the other 2 would be whatever. We'll see what happens with the other 2. But it's obviously gonna be Alrund's Epiphany because they're gonna want to take another turn. This card, Emergent Ultimatum, such a dumb card. Such a dumb card. Okay, well, they have 4 cards in their hand, so if I give them Seagate, they draw 5. They're going to go 9, so that means they get to play another Emergent Ultimatum, most likely. That's bad for us. I don't want to give them an extra turn. I don't want to give them a 8/8. I mean, I could Binding of the Gods, the token, or not the token, but the Cure Best Sea God, but then I won't be able to kill the token. So this just might be game. Because, like, there's nothing I want to give them. This is just probably, yeah. I'm just gonna, no point in wasting time. I just want to go, let's go to the next game. At this point, I'd just be wasting time. So let's bring in the Duresses, let's bring in the Elder, and Mystical Disputes. Test of Talents is a very good card against these Ultimatum decks. So if you haven't seen it, I would recommend it. Let's take out the Heartless Axe, eliminates. I think we want the Extinction event gone here. The 2 Shadow's Verdicts. I don't think we want a Polukranos in this matchup, so I think I'm gonna cut that. And then the last card is either the Chariot or maybe like a Cultivate, but I think I might just cut the Chariot. I mean, we do have 4 Cultivates, but I do want a ramp so I could play the Ultimatum. So I think I just cut Chariot here. But anyways, I was saying, the Test of Talents is actually a very good card. If you're in any kind of blue, I would recommend it in your sideboard because it's very strong. Like, so what it does is it counters a target instant or sorcery for 2 mana. And then if it, whatever it counters, it removes all copies of that card in their hand, graveyard, and deck. And if there was any copies in their hand, they get to draw a card for each one it exiles. But obviously, I mean, it's worth it to get rid of Sultai Ultimatum or Emergent Ultimatum. But it's worth it because that means then they have to start hard casting every single card. Yeah, see? Graveyard, hand, library, same name as exile it. Alright, so we kept this hand because we have 2 counterspells on a Wolf of Haven with land, so we get to ramp, and we have counterspells to hold up stuff. So, this is definitely a keepable hand for sure. Alright, okay, that's a good draw. If I have to say, that's a pretty decent draw. Let's put this on blue because we need double blue. We need 1 for Mystical Dispute and 1 for Test of Talents. So easy peasy. We have, what is that, 4 mana? So we could either dispute something or... Okay. I'm going to clearly dispute this because I don't want Ultimatum to disappear out of my hand. So we have... So if I put this on blue, I can go grab a land, which would be a forest, and then I can still hold up Test of Talents. And I put a bounty on the threat on the board. So now we have double blue, we have triple green, we have black, and then we have the pathway for our second black. So now we get to play Ultimatum. Turn 4, their turn 4, so my turn 5 Ultimatum. Yeah, that's why this card needs to be banned. Or hurry up and let rotation happen. Turn 5, and you get to cast 2, 6 mana plus cards. That's ridiculous. Alright, so we're definitely gonna grab Alrund's Epiphany. That's an easy one. And I debating on if I want to grab Professor Onyx and Tibble also, I think, or Valki, whatever. So I'm thinking I'm gonna do Valki, Professor Onyx, and Alrund's Epiphany. I doubt they give us Alrund. I doubt they give me Tibble because Tibble can exile Polukranos and I can take it and use it against him. I think he's just gonna give me the extra churn and maybe Professor Onyx, but the Onyx can also kill the Polukranos. So. Dun, 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 dun. So yep, there it is. So we're going to use the Professor to go ahead and destroy this Polukranos. And then we get to attack for 3. And then, like I said, we have an extra turn. Then we can use Predation to look at their hand and pick a card out of their hand. And Professor Onyx gets to help us dig through the top 3 to grab a card. So either way, it's still going to be good. All right. Oh, solve the equation. Here's another good card for you guys if you're playing this deck. Solve the Equation is a powerful card for this deck because it's a 3 mana grab any instant sorcery card from your deck to your hand. So you just go grab Emergent Ultimatum. Okay, so they just have removal and land, so that's good for us. So I'm gonna use this, and I'm either gonna grab Alrund's Epiphany here or Ultimatum. I think we grab Alrund's Epiphany because then that is gonna be a lot more brutal. Okay. I mean, obviously you could grab the Ultimatum, but taking an extra turn with Professor Onyx, looking at the top 3 and then looking at the top 3 is probably just better. Because we have the Planeswalker Professor Onyx in play, I'm just going to hold that up because of Test of Talents. Because we have Professor Onyx in play, I'm going to grab Alrund's Epiphany to take because I get to use the effect to look at the top 3 cards. Then I'll play Alrund's Epiphany to take an extra turn, and then I'll use the effect again to look at the top 3 cards. So I'm looking at the top 8 cards because of my 2 draw phases. Oh, there we go. Nice. All right, KO on that one. So we got game 2. But yeah, I'm looking at the top 8 cards of my deck. This card's good. And it's a very good control deck card. All right, I mean, obviously I'm not changing it. I'm clearly not changing any cards here because I already, sideboarded the right cards in, so. But yeah, she's actually a pretty good card. Very good control card. I'm going to be testing her out in these, next couple of days in my blue-black control deck. All right, well, I got lands, omens, ultimatums, cultivator. So yeah, I guess we'll keep. I wish cultivator would have been grab any forest or island. So in other words, you can grab any tri-land, but it says basic land, so that sucks, but it's still fine. It's a 3/4 body against the aggro decks that grabs you a land, and it comes in untapped. It ramps you, so you can play the ultimatums. So it's a fine card. I'm trying it out. We'll see. Let's see how it works. You put Wolfhaven on his tri-land or his temple. I would have put it on the forest. Obviously, I don't play what's it called? Field of Ruin. But if I had Field of Ruin in my deck, I would kill the Malady because it takes away 2 mana versus the 1 mana on the Triome or something. So if you would put it on the forest, Field of Ruin cannot kill the forest. Alright, we're going to play Omen at our end step. I mean, he's debating, I guess, on playing a card or something, or what? Like a predation. Okay, well, we're still going to play Omen, I guess. Yeah, we'll keep them both, I guess. Because we get to play a land and then play a Wolfhaven to ramp. So, sure. I'm assuming he takes away one of the ultimatums. I should have played Omen after he predation, so that way he sees one less card. But I guess with those 2 cards, I would have played them anyways, and so it wouldn't have mattered because the 2 new cards I drew, I'm casting anyways. Or playing, casting, whatever you want to call it. Cultivate, let's see, 2, 3, 4. We have a land, so that's 5. So I don't think we keep this because we have 5 mana currently. The cultivator could grab another land, so that's 6. Yeah, I don't need this. I'm just gonna bottom. Yeah, bottom right. 2, 3, 4, 5. Cultivator 6. Could cast Elder. Yeah. Can cast Elder next turn if he taps out, or Cultivator to ramp, and then we have 2 draw phases to grab a 7th mana. And I don't really want to be playing Cultivate on turn 4, 5, whatever. Obviously, it's still fine, but I'd rather try to draw some better, powerful cards. Cultivate's not going to be that powerful in this currently right now, since he knows exactly what's in my hand, so it's not going to be great. I need to start drawing into my duresses or counter spells because he's getting closer and closer to ultimatum mana. And since he already picked off one of, well, okay, never mind. Now he picked off 2 ultimatums. Well, he tapped out, so I guess we're playing Elder Gargaroth then. Yep, we're playing Elder. 2, 3, 4, 5. And he's not at the mana for the Sultai Ultimatum because he only has 2, 3, 4, 5. He has 6 mana, I guess. Or he's going to go to 6 mana, I should say. So, island? So that way I can have multiple in case I draw counter spells. The cultivator could grab the forest. My debate was, I mean, I don't know, obviously the cultivator could also grab an island. And so I was debating on between island or forest, because island I need for counter spells, and then not forest, I mean swamp. And swamp I need because I need double black. But I mean, I do have the Triome, so, but still. All right, that was a really good draw. Binding of the Old Gods. Now we get to kill this Polukranos without having our Elder die. That was a very good draw. Goodbye. Attack. Draw a card. Play the Triome. Pass. I mean, I guess depends on what we draw, but okay. Like I said, attack, draw the card, play the Triumph, pass. Exactly how I said it, and is exactly what was gonna happen. And we drew another Cultivator. So we have Mystical Dispute for the Sultai Ultimatum. Or the Alrund's Epiphany, I guess, because he technically could play a land and be at 7 mana. So we have both Alrund's Epiphany. Okay, we don't have something against that. That, on the other hand, we do not have something against. Negate. Okay. Guess I grab the red Triumph here in case I don't draw Tibalt. So I think I play the Cultivator and then just hold up either Dispute or Negate. I can't attack because he blocks with Coma and then sacks the Serpent and makes his Coma indestructible. And I just lost an Elder Gargaroth. And he only has one card in his hand. So, I mean, obviously, this Coma is going to start getting out of control because he's creating 2/3/3s. Pretty much. One on mine, one on his. I mean, I'm at 20 life, so that's good. And then I can, I guess, start attacking in the air with Yorion next turn if I need to. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 8 mana. I guess if I draw a land, I may do the Yorion so I can hold up Dispute. But if I don't, then I don't want to leave my shields open, leave it down. It's either been on activating Coma to tap Elder. That seems odd and bad. Or, yeah, because there's no way I'm blocking Elder to Coma anyways. There's no point to using Coma to tap Elder down. There's no way I'm blocking Coma because you make it indestructible. And then I'm just pretty much trading Elder for a draw power. All right, so what could we? I removed my board wipes. Like, what could we draw? But I removed my board wipes. I guess Professor Onyx would work, right? Because it makes them sacrifice the highest power, and Coma is that. So Professor Onyx works. Tibalt works too because it exiles target creature. Interesting, he's attacking. Okay, I take 6. I mean, obviously, I'm not, like I said, I'm not blocking. He grabbed Yorion to his hand. Okay. I guess it's yeah, okay. Duress, huh? Duress. So if he double blocks, we take 2 of his tokens out. I think I just have to attack with both here. And if he blocks the Cultivator, we remove all 3 of his tokens. Yeah, we have to definitely draw a card here. Okay. So if he sends all 3 tokens and blocks, then we probably win the game. Okay, okay. So far so good. Boom. Now Coma is just dead. He has to use the effect now to make it indestructible, but then it prevents one of our creatures. Okay, so he was supposed to sack the one that blocked the Cultivator so that he can protect Coma from and make it indestructible. Because my Cultivator doesn't die anyway, so he should have sacked it to Coma's effect to make it indestructible. Because now I'm just going to Binding of the Gods as Coma. And that should pretty much, I guess... I mean, it doesn't lock it up because he has Yorion. He could blink Omen. But, I mean, he knows we have Mystical Dispute, actually. 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, he could play the mana. Never mind. So he has 8 mana. He can do it. Yeah, he messed up. I mean, we drew the right card with Binding of the Gods after he messed up. But he messed up. He should have not done what he did. We have 3 open mana, so I'm going to hold up Dispute and Negate. And he shouldn't be cracking this. If he's going to be playing Yorion, he should not be cracking this. Because then he just took away a free draw power. I mean, unless he's going to use Polukranos, cast Polukranos. It's the only other thing I can think of. So if he plays Polukranos here, I'm going to use Mystical Dispute just so he can't have 3 mana to fight one of my creatures. So I'm going to play Mystical Dispute, force him to pay the 3 mana so he can't fight. Now I get to grab Yorion to my hand and blink the Binding of the Gods to kill it. So let's grab a land. So I can't attack anyway, so let's just play Yorion and blink all 3 cards. So blink, blink, blink. And then play Jordy as our land. I guess we just have to dodge. We gotta dodge what's called Ultimatum off the top of the deck, I guess. But even if Ultimatum doesn't win him the game, because he'll grab Alrund's Epiphany, let's say Seagate, and what is it, the Cure of Best God, we give him. We don't give him Alrund's Epiphany because then he only draws 1 card from Seagate, and then he creates an 8/8. I can beat the 8/8 just by flying in the air. So okay. Test the Talents is a good draw. Grab the Tri-Land. So I have Eureka Moment. I have Cultivator. I do have 1 land left, so I could do Cultivator. Make sure we tap right, because I don't need too much of this green mana here. And I get to search for a green source anyway, so grab that. Then I could, like I said, I could not go into attack, but instead I could play Eureka's Moment. He can't attack. So we're on par. Need you a land, I think. No. No, 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 no. That's not happening. I'm saving Tested Talents for, there we go, KO! Alright, let's take StrixHaven Sultai Ultimatum version to the ladder. Let's see what happens. Let's give it a whirl. Brawless? I'm assuming that's what they mean. I'm assuming that's their name. Sweet, we get to play first. Oh, we're playing against a Temur Obosh deck, I'm assuming. Alright, we're gonna keep because Obosh. I'm assuming it's the Adventure Obosh deck. Alright, let's see. Let's play the Triumph first. That way it gives us Mystical Dispute mana. We'll play this second to scry. And then maybe this third. We'll see. I mean, obviously our hand isn't great against the Adventure package, but having this, possibly this, might work out. Let's see what happens. We have a scry land as well. Okay, player. No. Oh, well, there's another one. Well, there's another one. Dwardy Disruption. I'm going to keep that because I can counter a 3 mana play. So I'm going to keep that. I mean, I obviously have a Mystical Dispute, but then I can also counter something here. Worst case scenario, it's a land. Okay. Let's go ahead. Play that. I'm just going to pass. We have 3, 4, 5. We need 2 more lands here. Yep, there's the Temur deck. All right, so I'm going to Dwardy here because this could counter with more, you know what I mean? Like, there's no reason not to hold that up. All right, so blue, right? So let's play this tapped and then pass turn. So we have blue and blue. We have green and green. I could also put this on green. So I need 1 more black mana, it looks like. 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we needed 1 more black. Let's see what we can do. See what we can do. All right. Edge wall. That sucks. I guess they can cast another Bone Crusher. Yep. So they get to draw a card. Unfortunate, but all right. They get to draw a card. Let's see if we could draw something to kill it. There's our other black, I guess. But it's not looking good because of edge wall. So we grab our second black source. I'm going to grab Yorion to hand. Worst case scenario, I'm just going to cast it next turn just to cast it. But it's looking... If he has the dragon, that's going to be bad. He didn't grab red, so it doesn't have the dragon. If I would have had, you know, some ramp here, it would have been nice. But so one of those is a counterspell, I guess. Okay, so we have that. So one of them is a counterspell. So I'm just going to throw this out because Let him counter this. Doesn't want to counter it. All right. Maybe he's going to flash in Brazen or bounce and then play Brazen. So we have enough mana now. So we have green. So we have green. Let's say put this on blue. Yeah, he's going to bounce it. So put this on blue, and then we're going to try playing this and see what happens. I think there's the double red. It's not looking good, but we have to start forcing him to start countering cards. He's going to play Alrund's Epiphany, huh? Nope. So he's going to have hold up counter spells here. That doesn't do anything, so we're just going to do this. Just throw out the ultimatum. Force him to counter it. We have another one. Hopefully not 2 counter spells. Oh, man. So that's not good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're probably just gonna die. Huh. Alrund's Epiphany. And I'm gonna take, all right. We're not dead. If this is another counterspell, then we're kind of dead, I guess. 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, if this is a counterspell, we lose the game. Oh, come on. Back to back. Come on. It was another counterspell, of course. All right. So it was a back to back to back. Let's do eliminates, extinctions, negates, test talents. No, because the instant sorceries, Mystic Dispute. They play a bunch of non-blue cards. So I think we're just gonna do that. All right. So what am I cutting here? Predation. I can look at their hand. Polukranos is fine. I could cut a Beast God, but that was unfortunate, man. Opponent had some nice cards. All right, so I think I'm gonna cut 1 dispute. Let's see. I'm gonna cut 1 cultivate. Then you cut 3 more cards. Oh, that's a little tough. I could cut, since I brought in the eliminates, I could cut the Heartless Act since. All right. Don't really like that, and I'm gonna cut that. What do we do? Something like that. All right, well, double counterspell face down and double Alrund's Epiphany is not good for us. That was a little brutal. All right, we're on the play. 1 lander doesn't do anything for us. All right, we can keep this. I guess at the bottom, Alrund's Epiphany then. That's what it looks like. So if I play this on, grab a blue mana. Yep. So grab blue, and then we'll scry. And then we have a turn 3 cultivate, I guess. Well, that changes things up then. Never mind. We're just going to do that instead. So now we have 3 mana. We can play cultivate. If he counters this, that's fine. I don't care. All right, so we're going to grab blue and black, I guess. Yeah, blue and black. So doesn't matter. We'll put the blue in play. Scry. Don't want another land, unfortunately. Do not want that. We have 2, 4, 5. We go to 6. Let's see if they have. Okay, well then we get to card cast this. So cloth this is their win condition. They can start exiling cards from our graveyard. But we dropped an Elder. I mean, they could brazen it, but I don't think they can do anything other than that against it. And then I just keep swinging in for 6 against them. Obviously, I can't get rid of this, but they tapped out, so we could play Elder. So that's good. Let's see what we can do. What we can do. Come on. You're going to brazen it. Brazen. Even if we go into combat and they bounce it then, we'll just recast it. I mean, there's, another Binding of the Gods. Okay. So he's going to bounce it here probably. Wow, he let us attack. Extinction event. So I'm going to grab Yorion here and hold up the Heartless Act. There's no reason to play Binding. This is indestructible. It's gonna bounce it now. Sure. So then he could counter it on the back end. So he let us get a attack in, so he can do that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Add mana. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, there's the gold span. So guess we're just gonna kill it, and he gets to create he gets to create the artifact. You can sack, counter it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. If I play this, it gets countered. I mean, it's fine. Okay, wow, it didn't get countered. All right. I was gonna say, if I play this, it gets countered, but I guess it didn't, huh? He's just bluffing the counter spell there, or what? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you can play Outruns here, because he could sack the treasure. So you could play Outrun's Epiphany. Edge wall, sure. Ooh, Professor Onyx. Let's draw a card, I guess. Eliminate's a good card. The Binding of the Gods will help us get this mana. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm gonna play Binding of the Gods on the edge wall, force him to flash in his flash it in. He gets to draw a card, and then we could just eliminate the Brazen if we need to. So we're gonna kill this because we don't care. We have a vigilance dude anyways. Reach, vigilance, so we don't care. He's gonna have to start exiling cards from his own graveyard. Sure. And this is gonna give us the red mana that we need for Valki. So he's adding Obosh. Okay. Don't you dare attack. Okay. Ooh. Alrund's Epiphany. All right, let's go to combat. Let's once again draw a card. Okay, another eliminate. I think I'm going to. I could cast this as the creature. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I want to play Binding of the Gods. I can destroy this so he has less mana, but then that doesn't really help me. I could foretold 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we can have 2 mana up. If I play this, it probably gets disputed, so I'll wait on that. So I'm thinking I'm just gonna play Binding of the Gods here, number 2. See what he does. So I can kill the Brazen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm just gonna kill the Brazen, I guess. I really should have probably gone. I was thinking about going for that, but it's fine. I feel like he has some counter spells in his hand, and since I already dropped these cards, he can't really do anything about it. But 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. Okay. All right, so now we get to look at their hand. Let's grab this. We get to look at their hand and play the Yorion to kill this off. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they can only counterspell once. 2, 3, 4, 5. I wish I could have been able to play this, but all right. See what you got. So he's gonna counter this. I assume he's gonna counter this. Yep, miscast. Counter target instant source spell unless its controller pays 3. Miscast, huh? Resolves. Auto pay. That means I don't get to blink the binding, but what is he gonna do next? Is he gonna play like a negate against it now or something, or what? These aren't doing anything against these elders and possible Oboshes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. Mystical Dispute. Okay, that resolves, I guess. So, to that permanent or player instead. Let's go to combat first. I guess I'll draw a card. See if he wants to block. Okay, he'll take the trade. Results. He draws a card too. All right. I am going to go ahead and look at his hand now. I want to see what he's working with. Okay. I guess if I take this, he can't kill Valki, but is that what I really want to do? Dun 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 dun. Yeah, I guess we want to do that. Sure. I'm gonna put this on black. I have enough green. I don't need any more. So he's gonna cast Obosh. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, unless he drew a counter spell, we should be fine because we could play Alrund's Epiphany here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. We even Extinction Event. Okay. So let's see. What are the odds they drew the counter spell, huh? So let's play Professor Onyx first, because then it triggers with this. So this is odd. He takes 2 from this. Wait, what? How come he didn't take 2? Whenever you cast a copy of an instant or sorcery spell. Whenever you cast... What? Am I missing something? Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, each opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. I casted a sorcery spell. How come it didn't work? That's odd. Alright, whatever. 2, 4, 5, 6. Okay, we win the game. That's odd. They should have taken... They should have taken the 2. Am I missing something or what? So Mystical Disputes, miscasts. He brought in Elders. Okay. I could grab the Mythos and start copying his cards. Dun 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 dun. I think I just leave it the same, I guess. I know I know I casted the card after Onyx came to the board, so it should have taken 2. That's very odd. A glitch, maybe, I guess. Whenever you cast or copy an instant or sorcery spell, Extinction Event is a sorcery spell. What am I missing there? What am I missing there? I don't think there's anything I'm missing there. Odd. Odd, odd, odd. I mean, we still won the game, but that's odd. Ugh. This hand is no good. I'm on the draw. I have a Scryland. I have a removal. Oh, man, this is a tough one. All right, we're going to keep. I have a removal. I have a Scry. I guess I drew a 3rd land too. No, that's way too late. It's way too late. Love Struck. Alright, I think I have to put the Predation down because I could shock this. If he plays the Love Struck, we're just going to Heartless Act it, obviously, because it's a 5/5. We can't let that happen. Or Kazoo Mammoth, okay. Okay, so I guess I just Heartless Act the Kazoo Mammoth here, and then play this as my tap source. And then we have land 4 for binding. So far, so good-ish. We're 1-for-1ing our opponent at the moment, so that's good. Sure. So play this, play Elder on the left struct. He doesn't have double red, so he can't cast the god. We're going to be able to ramp on one card here so we get closer to Coma. So that's good. Okay, so he has the red. Bone Crusher hard cast. So I have a feeling like he has... I'm feeling he has miscast or mystical dispute. Okay, mystical dispute doesn't work. So I'm feeling he has miscast in his hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we have blue, blue, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I should play this. So just in case, I'll play this, and I'll play this to destroy the Bone Crusher. And then I'll cast this next turn and possibly win the game. Right? Because how do they... I mean, they could bounce it, actually. What am I saying? Win the game. They could bounce it with Brazen. Okay. Alright. Let's see. So this time I'm going to grab this in case I draw Valki. So we have black, 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 black. Green, 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 green. So I'm going to put this on green. And I'm going to cast Coma. You can't counter this. You can only bounce it. So if he has a Brazen, then... okay. He has a Brazen. Well, we just get to play it again next turn. And we're at 16. So we're not dead. He can also just grab Obosh here to his hand. And then flash in Brazen. Okay. So he's holding up Counterspell here. Jeez Louise, opponent. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. So we can play Shadow's Verdict and then play Jordy's on his Counterspell. Yeah, that seems good. Seems good. Go ahead and counter. If he plays Miscast, I have enough. If he plays Dispute, I have enough. If he tries to flash in Brazen here, I have the Counterspell. So that way he has nothing on board against me, and I still have a Coma in my hand. Obosh, okay. So go ahead and cast this again. Now, what do you do against the Coma, opponent? What do you do against a Coma? I think this might be a KO, man. I mean, like I said, he could bounce this guy. He can't kill it because I can make him indestructible. Sure. He could recast, and then he could cast Obosh here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. So if I play Cultivate, gotta make sure I use the black mana though. If I play Cultivate, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If he counters it, that's fine. Then I'll cast Elder Gargaroth. So if he counters this, that's fine. We'll cast then Elder Gargaroth. So we'll grab these two. What do I need? I need blue, blue, green, 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 green. So I guess we'll just put this in play. Put this out, put this. Like I said, you can't counter this. And then we'll go ahead and attack for 3. This Coma on its own is doing a massive amount of work. Sure. If he wants to play Obosh, then I'll use this to sack and tap that down. So that way we take less damage. Sure. Tap, sack. Resolves. Pass. My turn. If he wants to block with Obosh, I can make it indestructible. So that was a really good draw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 5. 9, 10, 11. That works. That works. Grab another body onto the field. Grab the forest. Play this. Let's go to combat. Let's go ahead and attack with this. Like I said, if he wants to block with Obosh, I'll make it indestructible. Take 6. Pass turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I'm holding Jordy Disruption in case he has Alrund's Epiphany here. Then, you know. So I can tap them both down here if I want to. All right, there it is. KO. There it is. Hey YouTube. Now you just saw me playing this deck. We played against the Temur Obosh deck. We played against another Sultai Ultimatum deck. We played against, I think, Red on the video. Those are the decks that we played against. So it battles all ranges, you know, aggro to mid range to a control deck. So far I'm like 6-1 with the deck on the ladder. I believe I just hit Diamond 1 with it, so it's doing pretty good. The new cards did give it some power, but obviously the new set isn't that strong of a set. It is a good set because the power level isn't that high. Obviously the adventure set or the adventure block area, they just printed out way too many powerful cards, so there's nothing you can really do about that. So once they're bringing the power level down, it's a good thing. So this set, you know, has half historic cards or whatever it is and half standard cards. That's kind of odd, but you know, I guess it's fine in a sense. You know, they're trying to push both formats, so they can only release so many historic anthology sets, I guess, whatever. But yeah, so this is the deck. It's looking pretty solid. So as far as, since the set is new, you don't really know the meta in a sense because you don't know how much of the cards are going to change the current decks that were already in play. Like for example, this deck, you know, we added a few new cards like Solve the Equation, Cultivator, Eureka Moment, Professor Onyx, and then in the sideboard we got like Test of Talents, you know. So we got some new cards to the deck, which do help the deck out quite a bit. So I'm just going to give a general sideboard guide to like the decks like aggro, mid-range, control, whatnot, you know. So now let's say, so the first one, let's say if you're playing against aggro decks or either being red or mono white or whatever the case is, what I like to bring in is the 2 eliminates, the extinction event, the Elder Gargaroth, and then what I even may, Coma is a little expensive, so I wouldn't recommend it, but if you really wanted to and you could get to that mana easily without dying, that's a good card. But I would just bring in like the Elder Gargaroth, Extinction, and 2 eliminates, and then against them I would trim down the higher curve cards. So right off the bat, Mystical Disputes against like red's obviously not good, so I would cut those 2 right off the bat, and then I would cut like a Seagate or Alrund's Epiphany here, and then you know that should do it better because this is obviously an expensive card, so you can just probably most likely play this as a land, and then if you want to play it untapped you have to pay 3 life, and obviously 7 mana or 6 mana if you foretell it. It's very expensive, so you're curving down, bringing in some removal, board wipe, and a 5 mana 6/6 vigilance lifelinker or create creatures is very good. So we would bring that in against aggro. Now if I were playing against like a mid-range deck, I would bring in Mythos, I would bring in Extinction Event, Elder, and Coma. And the reason Mythos is because if they're playing mid-range, you want to be, they might have something powerful on their side of the field that you would want to copy, and you can even copy your own cards, obviously, but they might have something powerful you want that you were like, okay, well, I want that card. You could copy their Coma. You could copy, say, their Elders or Elspeth Conquers Death or an Ugin or whatever the case is. I would bring this in because it could copy any permanent on the field. So bring that in. Extinction Event because you want to wipe out their mid-range creatures. Elder Gargaroth's a very solid, big mid-range creature. And Coma, obviously, well, no, I mean, there's nothing more to say. It's Coma. So, and what I would cut against the mid-range decks is I would cut the 1 Shadow's Verdict because you're bringing Extinction Event right off the bat because you don't need that. I would cut 1 Wolf of Haven. I would, so that's 2. I would probably cut either the 2 mystical disputes here because Jwari Disruption is good enough. And if you're not playing against a blue mid-range deck, this is always going to cost you 3 mana. So I would cut that. And I would keep the 1 Shadow's Verdict in because they should have, 2, 3 costs, 1 cost, maybe not 1 cost, but 2 or 3. They should have a few of them. So this would help out. So that's what I would do against mid-range decks. Now, if you're playing against control, it's a lot more simpler in a sense. I would cut the 4 eliminate or the 4 Heartless Acts, the 1 eliminate, the 1 extinction event, the 2 Shadows Verdict, the Polukranos, 1 Wolfhaven, and then I would just bring in the Coma, the Elder Gargaroth, the 3 Duresses, the 2 Negates, the 2 Tested Talents, and the Mystical Dispute against control decks. Tested Talent is quite the powerful card. I don't know if people have discovered how strong this card is, but against ultimatum decks, this card is a beast. So 2 mana guarantee counter spell unless they counter this. And then once it counters that card, it exiles all copies of it. So if I counter this Emergent Ultimatum for 2 mana, by the way, I get to remove all copies of them. Yeah, they get to draw a card for each one in their hand. That's fine. I'd rather have them draw 1 card than put in play 2 powerful cards. So it's a very good card. And I don't know if I would want to, if you're playing against a lot of ultimatum decks, then you're going to want more copies of this. But if you're not, I would say 2 should be fine. You could cut like Duress maybe or something like that, or maybe even the Mystical Dispute, and you could put a 3rd copy in there. But that card has been pretty strong so far for me. So I would highly recommend at least 2 in the sideboard. If you're playing against a lot of control ultimatum decks, definitely do 3. And as far as the new cards that I've added in the main deck, they've been actually pretty good. Solve the Equation. If you're playing an ultimatum deck, this card is good. I would leave this in the deck. It's up to you how many copies you choose. Started off with 1, played it a little bit. Whenever I drew it, it was powerful. Whenever I didn't, I was like, I needed another copy so I could get a better chance of drawing it. So I added a 2nd copy in. It's a very strong card. Eureka's Moment, 4 mana. It's no Growth Spiral because it's a 2 mana draw 1, play a land in play. But drawing 2 cards and still putting a land in play at instant speed is still a strong card. So I like this card in the deck. The Cultivator I like in the deck. I used to have 3, but I put it down to 2. And I like Cultivator because it's a 3/4 body, so it's good against the aggro decks because it's a good block. It ramps you so that you can play Emergent Ultimatum faster. So it's not dead against it's not dead against control or against aggro decks, because against aggro decks it's a blocker that ramps you. Against control, it's a threat that put a land into play so you could go closer to Emergent Ultimatum. So I don't think it's a dead card. I like it at 2 so far. And Professor Onyx, well, she's a powerful planeswalker with that passive ability. It's very strong. Obviously, she's a lot stronger if you play Vorinclex in the main deck. So if you wanted to play Vorinclex in the main deck, you can probably cut 1 Elder Gargaroth and play Vorinclex. And then obviously it makes Valki stronger, and it makes her stronger because when you ultimate her, they discard a card or they lose 3 life and you repeat it 6 times. Pretty deadly. But yeah, that's the deck. So far, we're 6-1 with it on the ladder with the StrixHaven release. We got the Diamond 1 with it. It's a solid deck. It was a good deck back then before the set release. It's still a good deck now with the new additions. I think it's good enough to... I'm pretty sure if I keep playing this deck, I'll easily get to the Mythic top 1200. But I like to run different decks and just keep trying decks out. And then in the next video, this is a best of 3 deck. You can play it obviously in best of 1, and that's why I did it like the way I did it. So obviously keep these in best of 3 because you're less likely to probably play against control in best of 1. So I left these in the sideboard as best of 1 because you're going to play against more aggro based decks. So you definitely want this stuff. But the problem with that is we have no way of grabbing any cards from the sideboard. So having this anyways doesn't matter unless you add a card in here so you could go lesson or something. You could grab a card or something like that, but you can't even grab these. You have to play Fae of Wishes because these aren't lesson cards. So like I said, it doesn't really matter how you have the sideboard unless you're playing Fae of Wishes in the main deck. But if you do decide to put like Fae of Wishes in the deck, I would say leave it something like this. I guess you could cut these because Fae can't grab these, but keep these in and stuff like that. But whatever. this is a best of 3 deck. I built it for a best of 3 deck. It's strong as a best of 1 deck, but I built it for a best of 3. But yeah, I'm going to be releasing in the next couple of days, 2 to 3 days. I'll be releasing an Orzhov aggro deck for best of 1. So go ahead, if you haven't done so already, subscribe, hit the notification so you know when I drop the future videos. That way, if you're looking for a specific deck, you'll know it'll come up and you could test it out. Like I said, I'll be dropping the Orzhov deck in 2 to 3 days. So far, so good. I am currently 3-0 with it, but I want to play test it a little bit more to see if if there's any changes I want to make with it. So it's 3-0 at the moment. I'm going to test it a little bit more because 3-0, 3 matches is not good enough to really tell the format if it's good or not. Usually I want to play somewhere between 7 to 10 games with the deck, and then I'll see if it's good or not. So go ahead and subscribe, hit the notification. If you're new, or if you're already subscribed, but look out for the next video, and this is going to be the video coming up. Give this deck a try. Let me know what you guys think. Drop some comments down below. Let me know what you guys think of this deck. If there's anything you would change about it, if there's something you don't like. I love hearing feedback from you guys. It makes me better. I'll usually change things around once I hear the logic behind of what this is and that is. So I'd love to hear some feedback from you guys. Drop some comments down below, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.